Hello! What is the biggest problem that you will be faced with as a wannabe online course creator? Any idea? What's the biggest challenge that you're going to be faced? Well, to be fair, this is something that crops up every week, okay? And by far the biggest challenge faced by people who want to get started creating an online course is that of making time to get started, making time to carry on through the process of creating the course, and making time to get to the finish line and actually launch it. All right? Making time. I say making time because people talk about finding time. Time's not just lying around, is it? We've got loads of time lying around that we're not using. No, we need to actively make time to create our course. So I have talked about this before in other videos, but I thought it was worth having a revisit since it was a topic of conversation last night with my course participants. So twice a month, people who are working through my online course, which teaches you how to create an online course called Crafty Online Course Creation. Then twice a month I have a Zoom open Q&A session where people can come and talk about what it is they're stuck on, working on, chat through ideas, all to do with online course creation. And again, last night the issue of making time cropped up. So before I dive off too far into how to work through these challenges, I'm Susan Weeks and I make online course creation faster and easier for you. I teach you how to create and launch an online course. You cut through your learning curve, follow a plan that works, and yes, even learn all of the dreaded techie stuff too. So anyway, back to this issue of finding, or rather making time to get on with your course. Right, I think the main thing to keep coming back to is this. If creating an online course is important to you for the survival of your business, for the growth of your business, then the only way that you're going to actually get this done is to make time for it. If this is important, if this is a priority, then you need to make the time in your, yes, already crammed out schedule, which means you do have to get pretty ruthless about where you spend your time, what the effectiveness of where you're spending your time now is, all right? And therefore, what are you going to say no to? You cannot take a full day, a full week, a full month schedule and then try and fit in, kind of willy-nilly, find some time to get on and work through your course creation. It just doesn't happen, right? And we all have other things that we're doing. But if this is important, then it's also important that you start to make the time to work on this important business asset. Yeah. So of course I've got a few notes here as well, so when I'm looking down, I'm just looking down at my notes. So what can you say no to? The key thing to all of this is how you block out your time and make it into a habit, right? And I know a lot of my creative friends, oh, so I'm creative, I can't block out my time, I don't know when I'll get the creative urge. Well, I think it really does, you do need to turn this into a habit. So kind of really have a good kind of stern look at your daily routine and where can you consciously make some time to spend on this important activity. Time blocking, I'm a massive fan of time blocking, and even if it's just 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day, can you make 30 minutes a day to consistently work on your course? Because those 30 minutes a day over a week, you've probably spent 3 hours. And quite often, I don't know about you, but once I get started on something, it's like you kind of get your teeth into it, don't you? And you want to keep on going. So likely, once you start to make that into a habit, then you will find it easier to kind of get started and get working and build the momentum. I think that's the biggest struggle, really, is if you don't make the time to work on your course, then you are constantly losing momentum. And well, let's face it, we forget, don't we? We forget what we've worked on, we forget what the ideas are, we forget what the hell we thought we were going to do. So it really is key if you can build in time in your schedule. Yes, I know we've got life, we've all got these things, but if you are serious about getting your course out there, then you need to be serious about making the time to do it. I'm from Yorkshire, I can't be any more blunter or honest about it. I'm not going to sugarcoat this issue. You know, it's the key to success for getting a course out there is making that time in your schedule to focus on it. So 30 minutes a day, right? What can you do in 30 minutes? There's that temptation as well, isn't there, that I would encourage you to avoid, which is, oh, well, it's only 30 minutes. I mean, oh, crikey, by the time I've made a cuppa and sat down and got my folder out and decided where, you know, remembered where I was, etc. Oh, I've wasted 10 minutes then, and no, I've got to dash off somewhere. So it can be very easy to kind of dismiss the value of that 30 minutes, all right? So if what you can make is 30 minutes a day to spend on your course creation project, then it kind of goes without saying that the 30 minutes needs to be as well organised as you can make it. And this is where creating your course plan comes into it. Hi, Catherine. Because if you've got 30 minutes a day that you're going to spend on your course creation, as I say, you don't want to be wasting it, wondering where the hell you are, what you're going to do. So this is where, kind of before you start getting kind of dragged into the weeds of all the things of course creation, is the first step really is getting your plan sorted out. And then I get this other, oh God, Sue, plan, oh, I'm creative, I don't do plans. I'm being blunt again, you can't create a course without some kind of plan, right? And if you have the plan there, then, as I say, you're going to make the most of the time that you can spare and stop wasting that precious time on wondering where you are, thinking about what to do next, getting lost in Google because actually you've got 30 minutes but like you don't know what you're going to do next, right? It's to sort that plan out. Oh God, so I don't know how to do a plan, I don't know what's involved. I'll come back to that, right? So block out your time, spend time at the beginning of your project to work out your plan so that you get to the point where you have got just a set of things to tick off that you can work on every 30-minute block that you have. Sounds simple? I mean, that's in a nutshell how you can get to this. And it is relatively easy to get to that. I have a resource for you that will help you do that too, right? So block out time, spend time with your plan. And so part of your planning is to then break this whole big project into small steps. Again, I have a resource for you to do that. And it's the same way of thinking that's going to help you to develop your course curriculum, your course outline, design your course. What's going to be in your course needs to be, get your ideas down and break them into small steps. So actually starting and working through your plan, making yourself have the rigour of getting yourselves organised and breaking down the project into small steps helps you get into that thinking when you get onto the stage of designing your course, of breaking things down into small steps. So actually taking the time up front is all benefit. It's all benefit, and it's going to feed into helping you create an effective course outline so that you can then start to work through creating that as well. So you've got two main areas. You've got kind of managing the course project, plus breaking down. One of those steps is actually creating the outline for your course and deciding what's going to be in it and what order, and you know, those kind of issues. Another thing that you can do is get accountability and support. And again, and you know, people say this all the time, don't they? Accountability and support really does make a big difference. So again, the people who are working through my course, twice a month they can turn up to an open Q&A Zoom, they can ask whatever questions, they can use it as accountability. So, you know, one of the participants yesterday has a physical premises, and that business is busy at the moment, even to the point where, you know, he said, oh, sometimes I'm up till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get stuff finished off. So, you know, yes, genuinely finding time is difficult, making time is difficult. But if you don't keep track of your plan and your goals, this is when accountability really helpful. So, you know, again, I said yesterday, right, well, I know you're really busy in your premises. What can we do to help you get, you know, start getting over this hump? Accountability. I said, right, so what are you going to have done by 2 weeks' time? What's, you know, if you can find half an hour a day, what are you going to spend that time on? Right, so I'd actually spent some time with this person brainstorming their curriculum in a separate one-to-one session that we'd booked. And so we've got a video recording, and so he says, right, I'm going to go back to that video recording and start breaking down my course outline and getting back into all the thoughts, because of course that was a couple of months ago now and he's forgot, like we do. All right, so you need to keep that momentum going. So accountability and support. People to come and chat through and say, I'm thinking about doing this, or what about this, Sue? Right, and in 2 weeks' time I'm going to do this. That's another really good way of making sure you get going, because this is, if you've never done this kind of thing before, creating online courses, probably the most complicated project that you will have more than likely worked on, particularly for those of you with a kind of a creative background or a practical skill background. Then, you know, this is probably the most complicated online project that you've done, but it's very logical and you can do it step by step. The other strategy that you can use as well is that don't wait until it's finished before you then start either talking about it, marketing, or getting people involved. So I teach a good, strong strategy, which I call the pilot course idea. Other people would call it like a beta launch, or there's other names for it as well. But basically what you're doing is telling people that this course is for sale before actually you've created it. And I know that can sound scary, and if it's a course where you're creating a craft, then it's like, oh God, how can I do this? But we all know what the delights of a deadline do for our levels of motivation. So the strategy that I use, that most of the kind of big course gurus use, is this idea of kind of pre-selling your course before it's actually created. That does two things. It really does test the market, because you could obviously, we've got a stage there of doing research, but the true way of testing if people want something is, are they actually going to get out their credit card, get their purse out, are they actually going to buy that thing? Never mind just saying that they are, right? We can all say that, can't we, to be kind? Oh yes, I'd get that course, that'd be great. Yeah, right. Here's the sales page you can book, right? So usually do it as if it's the first time you've done this, very simple process. Start telling people about it, have a simple way for them to pay you. Yeah, it's usually a heavily discounted price to reflect the fact that this is the first time you're doing it. But people who join your kind of pilot launches, I've always joined lots of those, because you get brilliant value as the course participant, because that person running that course is putting a whole load of effort in to get it going and to create it. And so then you create your course materials. So you release it once a week, for example. So you've got like a week to create the next module. If you're going to do that, then you really do have to clear the decks, right, and get rid of all the other kind of random stuff that you're doing that maybe isn't earning you much money anyway, if you're going to go through the pilot launch thing, you've got to clear the decks, get rid of all the crap that you're doing and focus. And that's why doing that strategy really helps you make the time and get on and get this damn thing done. The biggest problem I see is that people kind of take forever and then you just lose all of the momentum. And instead of climbing that mountain once, you're climbing that damn mountain loads of bloody times because you kind of like get so far and then you slide down and then you're like, oh God, I better start again, and up you go again and then you slide down again, right? So I'm here to kind of support you, shove you along, encourage you and teach you all of the things as well, so you're not wasting time working out what on earth you're going to do. Right, so those are the main ways of making the most of your time so that you can actually get your course created. Ways in which I can help you do that. So on my link here, profile link here, all of the ways I can help you are listed in there. But starting from the free ways, right? So I have a blog and what I've called a learning centre on my website where I've got videos like this on lots of topics about getting started with your online course creation. I have a free roadmap, a plan. I've actually called it a quick start. Yeah, it's called Course Creation Quick Start. That's a freebie you can sign up for. I've done all the planning for you, right? You don't have to sit and waste time fannying around trying to create a plan. I've been planning stuff for nearly 30 years, right? Including things in car factories and banking systems. So I've created a course creation plan for you. So you can sign up, so you get the like a diagram of all of the stages all together. It's got a checklist and then a kind of a list of some of the techie tools and stuff that people kind of wonder about. So you can sign up for that free course creation quick start. You can also, as I mentioned, I've done with course participants separately, you can book in for a one-to-one, and sometimes an hour of paid brain picking is so valuable because it helps you. You can just ask me the questions and say, right, let's get this plan, let's map it out, let's talk about your curriculum, whatever it is that you're worried about or stuck. Sometimes that hour of paid brain picking is absolutely invaluable because then you can just get on and get started with this. And then, of course, the main way in which I help you is through my online course, which is called Crafty Online Course Creation. A lot of my course participants are crafty, creative people. That's my main audience, but it does work for those of you who are not creating a course around a craft or a practical subject as well. I've got to pick one niche and some examples, don't I? So those are the ways in which I can help you to get your course started, worked through and over the finish line so that you can be so excited when those sales pop into your bank account. And believe me, I do a happy dance every time I get a message through in my email, so-and-so's bought this, that and the other course. So that's it for today, just a quickie. The biggest challenge is to make time to get on and create your course, and I've highlighted some ways there. Please reach out, DM. I'm always happy to kind of chat through, leave some comments if you've got a question, DM me if you've got specific questions, and go ahead and make use of those resources that I am here to help you. Right, so there we are. I shall go off, and I'm going to turn this into a blog post as well and some various other bits and pieces because I'm really into repurposing my content as well. So please let me know if I can help you with getting on with your course, and I look forward to supporting you and sharing with you those big wins as you develop your course. Bye for now.